Yo, what's up? Trey TD23 back again with another video. Sorry I haven't posted. There really hasn't been much to talk about during the NBA season. Um, or during this last week or so that I haven't posted. But the end of the season is this weekend. Sunday's the last day of the season. I'm gonna be talking about my awards, and then I'm gonna be talking about a couple other things that are going on in the league. First off, Jaylen Brown's out the rest of the season. That kind of ruins the Celtics' chances of being a competent team in the playoffs, like being a tough, fun team to watch in the playoffs. Because even though they've been terrible this season, like not terrible, but they've been not very good. Um, they normally, I think they'd be a good team in the playoffs. 7-game series, I feel like they can figure out a way because Kemba, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams now. They got players that can do damage in the playoffs. But I'm going to start off with the Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year, I think it's going to go to Tom Thibodeau. Knicks were projected to be a 20-win team, and they are a 40-win team. I got for the second and the third, I'm not going to say in order, Monty Williams. Both teams were out of the playoffs last year. Suns did do some in the bubble, but again, out of the playoffs. And then Quinn Snyder, because they were the 5th seed, I think. No, they were, I don't remember what seed. I think they were 3, no, they were 6. They were 6th seed last year, and now they are the top seed in the NBA. So yeah, I think between those 3. But I think Thibodeau's going to win just because they got, Knicks are in the playoffs. Even though I think they're 5th or 6th seed right now, I think they'll be the 4th seed. I'd like to see that Knicks and Hawks matchup. It's not an outstanding series, but I think like on the low, it's gonna be a good series. Next, I'm gonna go 6th man of the year. It's gonna go to Jordan Clarkson. I think it's gonna be Jordan Clarkson or Derrick Rose. Both have been good. Jordan Clarkson started off this year really hot, kind of slowed down a little bit, and then he had like a 40-piece the other night. The reason I say D Rose is because in Detroit, I think he was starting when Killian Hayes got injured, and he started when Killian Hayes got injured. He was coming off the bench. He did miss quite a bit of time with COVID and with just not playing in Detroit. But it's gonna be between those two. D Rose has really come through the past couple games, averaging in the 20s. Had two back-to-back 25-point games in dubs. Yeah. I'm going to go most improved. It's going to be Julius Randle. Last year, Julius Randle was not having the best year. Very underwhelming. People thought he was going to have a good season with the Knicks because he had his own team. With the Pelicans and with the Lakers, we got flashes of him being great. Just didn't turn out that good there. And then he's with his 3rd team, and he was an all-star, and he's an MVP candidate, and he's an all-NBA if he don't make the all-NBA, there's something wrong. But yeah. And that's one of my honorable mentions for MVP, by the way. He's not my top 3, but he is an honorable mention. For defensive player of the year, it's supposed to be only 3. And most improved, Jaylen Brown should also be there. He was still averaging about 20, but he went up from 20 to 25, about 25 points, and he was an all-star. So that's why I think he should be in the conversation for most improved. And those are the only 2. I couldn't think of anyone else. I took a little bit of time thinking. I couldn't think of anyone else to be the most improved player. Maybe Chris Boucher, because he's having a good year. Clint Capella maybe. But yeah, those are my 2 candidates / the other 2 that I just named. For defensive player of the year, you're supposed to only have 3 candidates, but I got 4. I got Ben Simmons winning it because you saw when I know this was a couple weeks ago when the Sixers and the Blazers went up against each other. Ben Simmons picked up Damian Lillard like full court. And Damian Lillard hit he was 1 of 11, 1 of 12, something like that. You guys can go back. I don't know the exact number he was, but there was a game. I don't remember exactly the game and what the his shot attempts were, but he, kind of locked him up. For Rookie of the Year, here's the thing. LaMelo Ball's been the Rookie of the Year pretty much the entire year. Then he got injured, was out for weeks. And Anthony Edwards pretty much became that scoring machine off the bench for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I kind of... Sorry about that. Hold up. I kind of think it's going to go to Edwards. It's between those two. Like, those are the top two. Tyrese Halliburton's up there. I can't think of anyone else. I am slow. Emmanuel Quickley should be up there. Y'all are going to think I'm being biased because, Chicago Bulls. But I'm going to go Patrick Williams. He's also got the most potential. Well, he's got one of the most potential out of the rookies. I say that because I'm gonna put my notebook down to tell you guys why I think he has the most potential. He's playing with Zach LaVine, playing with Vucevic. We could get Alonzo Ball, a Dennis Schroeder. We could even possibly get a Kyle Lowry to help us start winning. That'll be technically, if we get Lowry, that'll be technically 3 All-Stars, but Kyle Lowry's not in his All-Star form yet. But Patrick Williams, when he shoots with confidence, it normally goes in, especially from that corner 3 on the left side. He has a mean pull-up mid-range, mean defense. He grabs boards. He dunks on people. He did have a little bit of a slump where he did not score much, but he has come in his own past couple games. He's been doing good. Bulls have been fully healthy. I'll talk about the Bulls later. But yeah, that's what I think. My top 3, Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, Patrick Williams. I can give Tyrese Halliburton it, Emmanuel Quickley, James Wiseman if he did not get injured. But yeah, I think this is what you guys were waiting for. The most valuable player. So, the MVP of the NBA has been very interesting. Because it's supposed to be the most valuable player. Not the player that's played the best. It's supposed to be the most valuable. Not the best player in the league. If it was the best player in the league every year, Kobe would have had more MVPs. LeBron would have more. Michael Jordan would have more. Shaq would have more. Larry Bird already had multiple. Magic Johnson would have more. I think Magic Johnson has a couple. But yeah, Kareem would have more, even though Kareem already has a lot. Same with Jordan. Same with even LeBron, but they would have it every year they're in the league because they are the best players in the league. But it's weird because it's not the best player. It's the person that has the best season. But that don't mean they're the best. They're the most valuable to their team. Like Giannis, past couple years, he played like the best player. Got eliminated in the playoffs, but was not the most valuable on his team. Giannis was the most valuable on his team, but not the most valuable player. I think the most valuable is like the most impact. Like, let me think. Like, okay, I'm gonna bring up a couple things. Don't you know how when Kobe retired? When Kobe got injured, they got eliminated in the first round. It was against the 1 seed. I see it. But that team was stacked. Steve Nash was old. They had Metta World Peace. They had Antoine Jameson. They had Pau Gasol, Dwight Howard. Their team was loaded. And they got eliminated in the first round. You want to know why? Because Kobe didn't play because he was the best player on that team. He was the most valuable player on the team. Like with LeBron with his Cavs teams. With the Cavs team, the first time he left to go to Miami, they were the worst team because he was the most valuable on his team. If he doesn't leave that team, are they a title contender? No. But they are not the worst team in the league the next 4 years. They got 2 to 3 number 1 overalls, number overall picks because they were the worst team in basketball. With Michael Jordan, when he left the Bulls for the second time, they still had Pippen. I think they still had Horace Grant for a little bit of time. They still had their team except they didn't have Jordan. The first time they still had an all-time great in Scottie Pippen. He was the number 2 option. Jordan was the number 1, so he became the number 1. And flourished in it and was an MVP candidate. But when Jordan and Pippen, when Jordan left in 98 after the second three-peat, that team was terrible. We got the number 1 pick, which I think became Elton Brand. We got the number 1 pick because we were the worst team in basketball. Jordan was the most valuable to the team. If you didn't have Jordan, you were not winning. Yeah, 95, he came back. He played, like 17 games during the season. Got eliminated by the Magic. Got eliminated by Shaq, Penny, Horace Grant, Nick Anderson, Dennis Scott. Got eliminated by some great players. Penny Hardaway should be in the Hall of Fame if he's not. Shaq, greatest center of all time, most dominant player of all time. Dennis Scott, great 3-and-D player. Nick Anderson stole the ball, great defender. Horace Grant, who won titles with the Bulls. So that Jordan barely played that year. So you can't say that Jordan was not. If you didn't have Jordan, you were not winning a title. You saw with the 94 season. They didn't have Jordan, they didn't win. Were they a top seed? Yeah, but they didn't have Jordan, so they didn't win. So I feel most valuable player should definitely be literally the most valuable. So in today's game, it would be Chris Paul, it'd be Jimmy Butler. Y'all cannot say Jimmy Butler's not a valuable player. If they don't have Jimmy Butler, if the Heat don't have Jimmy Butler last year, they don't make it to the bubble. They don't make it to the finals. They don't take 2 games. Jimmy Butler, by himself, outplayed in 2 of those 6 finals games. Jimmy Butler was the best player on that court. They had LeBron, they had Anthony Davis, but Jimmy Butler was the best player playing that game. So, and players like I'm not saying Aaron Gordon should win most valuable, but since Aaron Gordon's gotten there, he has helped them. That's called value. You have value to your team. James Harden, valuable. He's missed 20. I think he's missed 20 some games, but that's value. Valuable to your team. Affects your team in winning, helps player development, helps players play, and gives the younger players confidence. That's why if it was actually most valuable player, then some of the players that have won MVP would not have won MVP because they were not always the most valuable. Steve Nash. I'm not trying to take away Steve Nash's greatness. All-time great point guard, should be in the Hall of Fame. He was not the most valuable player in the NBA. He was not the best player in the NBA. He averaged 18, 19, and like 15 or whatever. But he was not the best player. He was not the most valuable. That's the whole thing. But my MVP, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and CP3. I would have had Lillard or Harden there or LeBron, but they've all been injured. They've all missed a lot of time. CP3 has missed only a couple games, and he's been the most valuable player. Embiid missed time, but he's been too dominant and too valuable to his team to not have him there. And then Jokic hasn't missed a beat, hasn't missed a game, and they have the 4th or 5th seed in the NBA. I think they're fourth. Yeah, they're 4th. So yeah, that is it. And then I want to talk about something. So with the play-in and with the Lakers, it's interesting because I want Anthony Davis and LeBron to get as much rest as they can so we can have a good playoffs with the Lakers. But again, they don't want to fall into it to where I get it's LeBron James and he'll figure it out. But we don't want LeBron. The Lakers do not want LeBron to not have his feet under him to where he's not playing his best basketball when it comes to the playoffs. You want him to be playing the best basketball that he can in the playoffs. With Anthony Davis, he's played for the past 2 weeks now, I think. He missed last night. He missed the other night's game, but that was against the Rockets. They didn't even need him. But that's the scary part. They won against the Rockets, the worst team in basketball, by 2 points. And they had Drummond. The Rockets didn't have Christian Wood, John Wall, Kevin Porter Jr. They didn't have Eric Gordon. If they had those guys, I think they would have beat that Lakers team because the Lakers without LeBron and Anthony Davis are terrible. They are awful. Are they a good defensive team? Yes, but I don't think they're stopping any of the play. They're not stopping John Wall. I'm sorry. But, yeah. They didn't have pretty much their starting five out there. That's the whole thing. They didn't have Avery Bradley and Kelly Olynyk, 2 veteran players. They were playing a bunch of young guys. But, yeah. The Lakers, I want them to get their rest to be as healthy as possible. But then I don't want them to. I want them to play the Clippers because it'll be a good matchup. But then the Lakers do not want to play against the Clippers. The Clippers are definitely the most dangerous team out of the top 3. Even though Utah has been on fire, they've been the number 1 seed pretty much all year. The Phoenix Suns have one of the most valuable players in the NBA. They have a great scorer. They have a great center. They have great bench play. They are deep. Their team is deep. But they don't have Kawhi and Paul George. They don't have a player that can stop LeBron, like that can guard, at least try and slow down LeBron. They don't have someone that can. Actually, they have DeAndre Ayton. They have Rudy Gobert, but Anthony Davis is different than some of these other centers. Anthony Davis can pick and pop. Anthony Davis can drive. He doesn't have the best post-up moves, but he can back you down. He can do a little fadeaway and stuff like that. So it's kind of difficult. I want them to get their full rest, but then I want them to get their feet under them, so it's a good playoffs. And yeah, the Bulls play the Nets tomorrow. They got KD, they got Kyrie, they got James Harden. And then if we beat them somehow, then we play the Bucks the next day, and the Wizards play the Cavs tonight. So I don't think we're making it to the playoffs. I think we're losing this game and losing the next game. But I got hope. I got faith in my boys. I hope we can pull the games out. I'm not hoping that we lose, but I'm hoping. I'm hoping we can at least make the play-in. I don't care if we miss the playoffs. I want to just at least get in the play-in so we have something to be excited about for next season. Because as long as we're healthy, we're a playoff. We're not a contender. We're not a title contender. We're a playoff contender. We can make the playoffs because we've been good with Vucevic after that trade. But yeah, long video. I think I'm gonna start doing like every other day or every couple days. I'm gonna do a video. Every few days I'm gonna do a video, so I have more to talk about. So it's not 5-minute videos, 3, 4, 6, 2-minute videos. If you guys like the longer videos, let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.